Hi everyone, it's Leah. I was going to say it's been a hot minute since I've been here on YouTube, but I think it's been more like a hot quarter, 3 months or so. But I'm finally doing a little bit better, and I really want to get back into recording and uploading regularly for YouTube because I had so much fun when I was doing that, meeting nice, wonderful, supportive people, and I really miss that. So here's a quick update on what's been going on. I have had a really rough summer with my mental health. We had a few family stressors, a little bit bigger ones, nothing life threatening, but big anyway. And I know we all have stuff going on in life. But for me, without really having any family to turn to other than my husband, I have no siblings. My parents are both gone. I don't have aunts or uncles still living. So I find it hard to tackle things sometimes, especially because of my mental health. So my depression went up, my anxiety went up. I've never really been a very anxious individual, but I've got that now. And to top it all off, I had a few scares with some of the medications that my doctor was experimenting with, trying to help me have more of a tool, if you will, to boost my mood. And I'm trying to remember the details now. My memory is still a little bit foggy. That's one thing that I have with my fibromyalgia, and it only gets worse when my anxiety and depression are both exacerbated. But one of the medications had me having fibrillations with my heart, sent me to the hospital to ER because I was concerned that I might be having either a stroke or a heart attack. Fortunately, that didn't happen, thankfully, but it took me a while to recover from that one. Physically a little bit as well as emotionally. I was a wreck. And then we put me on another medication, and that one as well did not agree with me. I was getting terrible headaches, and as well, many, many years ago, a psychiatrist that I was seeing put me on a medication that I think is an antipsychotic. She put me on half of the smallest dose available just as a booster for my antidepressant, but it gave me what is called cervical dystonia over here, which means that often for no reason whatsoever, even when I'm comfortable and I'm alone, my neck will stiffen up and I will have a tendency to want to go like this with my head. And it's almost like Parkinson's. If I have to straighten out my head, I can't, and it starts to shake, which has always made it really difficult to take a photo for either my driver's license or for my passport because they want your head focused straight on, and I have a hard time holding it like that. So I started having reactions with the second medication. I'm now finally on a third one, and it seems to be helping. I'm hoping that when I see my doctor next in a couple of weeks, we can up that dosage a little bit. And that was some changes that I'm trying to put into how I view circumstances, not seeing everything as being black and white and fixed and permanent, and also taking greater responsibility for my own interpretation of events, seeing how I can be more proactive to either work with circumstances or change my responses to them. That's slowly helping me as well too. So that's where I've been in terms of my weight loss efforts. Gosh, I gotta tell you, when I was going through the rough time with the medications, I actually started losing a little bit of weight. However, at the same time, I was still waiting for results for I think it's called an endovaginal ultrasound. It's an internal ultrasound that they do to check on one's ovaries, one's endometrium, etc. And I have that done regularly every 6 months because my mother passed away when she was quite young from ovarian cancer. Since I wasn't on any medication that was helping my depression and anxiety, and I was very worried about the results of that because I'm now menopausal 1 year, but I did have some spotting, which is rather unusual. Where am I going with this? Oh my gosh, I can't remember. This is part of my memory lapse. I'm not going to edit this out. Not to make you suffer through it and not to save myself the work, but because I really want there to be a record of what I'm struggling with, and memory is part of that. I'm hoping that is going to improve along the way with medication and as I learn to better manage my stress as well too. So, oh yes, I mentioned that because of the weight loss. So, because I had lost some weight from the stress, I sort of interpreted it in the back of my mind as like, gosh, my mother was losing a lot of weight when she had the cancer. So sort of subconsciously, I started eating more, eating the wrong things, the foods that I know are going to pack on the weight for me, the sugar, and I actually ended up gaining 10 pounds over the summer instead of losing any. And foolishly, I was reassured by that because I thought, okay, I can't have, God forbid, something terribly wrong with my health if I'm able to still gain weight. So the results came back. They were fine, thank God. And I think finally my mental and emotional health are getting to the point where I can tackle this once again. So this has actually been long enough, but I'm going to go on a little bit longer anyway. Why did I say that? And just to share with you, but one of the reasons I really want to get cracking on finally addressing my eating issues, I'm a big emotional eater, is that because several years ago, a family doctor that I was seeing gave me a referral for bariatric surgery, for weight loss surgery. He didn't say anything else to me about it, just passed the paper on, and that was it, end of discussion. And I did my research, and I decided, you know what, I should be able to lose the weight on my own. I'm going to have to lose some weight anyway to qualify for the surgery, so I'm going to be able to tackle it on my own. And years later, I haven't. In fact, I've probably put on weight since then. So last year, I was quite desperate about where I was holding with my weight loss journey, and I spoke to my family doctor and I said, you know, the waiting list here for weight loss surgery in Quebec is quite lengthy. In many provinces in Canada, it's very lengthy, anywhere from 2 years to, in some places, I think 6 or 7. And because the government covers it, my private insurance, which is actually quite good in many regards, will not cover it. They say, no, you just wait for the government plan to come through and stay on their wait list. So last year I begged her for it. I was crying, but I went and I handed in the referral actually, and I got on the wait list, and they said it would be about a year before I would hear from anybody for the initial appointment. Well, that year has come and gone in the month of September, and I'm actually about 17 pounds more than I was last summer when I begged my doctor for that referral. I really do want to avoid the surgery if at all possible. I'm not judging anybody who has that surgery, and if I'm not able to get my weight down on my own, I will take the risk and I will have it. But personally, my concerns for that are beyond the anesthesia and waking up or having, God forbid, something terrible go wrong during the surgery. My concerns are with the lessened absorption of nutrients from your food for the rest of your life as a result of some of these surgeries. And I want to avoid that if at all possible. So I'm hoping to get back on the weight loss journey right now. I'm also going to be trying to share more of my emotional and mental health journey as well too. If that's not to your liking or if it triggers you, I totally get it. If you want to support me by every now and then checking in or joining one of the hopefully funner videos that I hope to post sometimes, that would be super. But if you feel that it's not for you, of course I will understand 100% to say goodbye if you want to unsubscribe, and I'll wish you well no matter what. We all need to do what's best for ourselves in terms of our health and our well-being and our spirit and our happiness. And I'm going to be sharing this for those who I know may be helped by it, and hopefully it's going to help myself as well too. And there'll be hopefully some, as I get better, happier and more fun videos along the way. I know I have long-term plans for this channel. I want it to be something that I can have fun with when I hit 60s and my 70s and think about retiring. And so slowly but surely I'm going to build this up. I'm not in a rush to do that. I would have liked to have been, because I generally am a more let's go for something kind of a person, but I haven't been doing that well over the last year or so, so we'll get there. It'll just going to take a little time. So sorry for slurring my speech a little bit. I'm a little bit anxious about recording this. Again, I'm not going to cut that because I want this to be sort of like a benchmark for how I'm doing in the future, and something that I can look back on one day and hopefully show people, say, hey, look where I was, and here my hands, look where I am now. There is the ability to improve ourselves, particularly when we have the love and support of really great followers and our family and friends. So that's it for now. I hope to see you again soon, and thanks for sticking with me. It really does mean so much. Wishing you all well. Bye-bye.